Alright, I'm bringing you a review today of the new Bering Optics Super Yoter-R 35mm 640 12 micron thermal rifle scope. This is going to be a 2x base magnification, has onboard video recording, 8 reticles, user selectable sharpness, contrast and brightness settings, Wi-Fi capable. Currently outfitted with a LaRue toolless mount. Very nice addition to the Super Yoter-R lineup. There's already a 50mm that's been released, which is 3x base mag. I do have a video up on my channel that shows field of view differences between this and the 50mm, so I'll put that link in this video description. So I'll get it zeroed on a 6.5 Creedmoor, which is what this gun is, suppressed at 100 yards, and then over the course of the next couple weeks hopefully bring you some hunting footage from the field, hogs and coyotes. Alright, so before we get started and zero the Super Yoter 35mm scope, a couple of configuration related variables to bring to your attention here in the video. Caliber selection, everybody's got a 6.5 Creedmoor or knows somebody that has a 6.5 Creedmoor, very capable short, mid and long range caliber. We're going to be outfitting it with the brass catcher. This is a Caldwell cheapy style brass catcher. I use it to piggyback my power supply onto it. So in order to do that, we'll have to fix this fitting onto the rail in front of the Super Yoter. We'll put that up here towards the front. The Super Yoter does utilize CR123A batteries. Those are rather costly, and you get about 3 hours of runtime per set. So, hence the reason I'm using a external battery supply. On the long run, much cheaper expense when you use an external battery pack. As such, it has a USB-C port on the side, which does both power and data. So you're able to connect this to a Windows PC. It does not do Apple or Macintosh, but with a Windows PC you're able to get the videos downloaded off the Super Yoter onto your computer. So now that that brass catcher is on there, we've got power for the system. The next thing to discuss is setting your mount for tension. So when you get your Super Yoter, it comes from the factory pretty much set for their standard testing equipment that they utilize to collimate and center the scope's center line to the mount center line. Then they torque these, they epoxy the mount, they're non-user serviceable, and so the tension of this throw lever could be less than desirable, non-optimal for your gun, your specific rifle. So I'm going to go ahead and season and tension this mount. So I just work the mechanics of the toolless LaRue mount, working out any kinks, burrs, anything that might have gotten in there in shipping and storage by just going least tension to max tension. And then once I've done that a couple, 2-3 times, then I'm going to go ahead and set it. I've already made my index mark based on some prior fittings, so I know exactly where I want it. Now that I got that bolt tensioned, you put it in the same rail every time. So I go for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slots up from the back. Seems to work pretty well for me. The LaRue has a front index key that you'll put in that 6th slot. You can move that back and forth. You want to end up by pushing forward until you have a positive contact, and then you can press that down. And again, I like to do this a couple, 2-3 times, just working the mechanics of the mount. It's not necessary, but I'm sort of anal when it comes to accuracy and repeatability, so I just feel like this can do nothing but help to work out any of the unforeseen variables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could put a white indicator mark in that rail slot to make it easier instead of counting. Alright, so that's locked on. and we should be good to go and get started. Fire up the scope. I've got a steel target at 50 yards that I'll start with, get a rough zero, move to 100, and let me go ahead and record through the scope. Get some focus. Okay, we're looking at the silhouette target here. Go ahead and mess with some of the, I like that right there, real nice. That's black hot. 4 different sharpness levels. I think I prefer the first sharpness. And as I said, you have user adjustable contrast and brightness. I think that looks appealing. And then 8 different reticles. I think I'll go with this one today in 4 different colors. All right. Good enough. This does have cool and warm settings, so right now I have it on cool. Watch what happens when I change it to warm. So just changes the overall hue of the image back to cool. I'll leave it at cool, and then I want to go and check my zero coordinates and make sure I'm starting from scratch. So up, down, left, right is 0.00 inches. So I should be at true center, ready to zero. Alright, should only be necessary to send 1 round down range at 50 yards. We'll go mark the target, and then we'll make our rough zero adjustment and move to 100. I'm going to put this dead center in the chest of the silhouette. To me it appears a little bit low and right, but I'll go verify. Okay, so I would say I was holding about here, and the impact is over here. So show you what I do real quick for making my zero adjustment. Alright, you could use foil or any other thermally emissive target base. I got a Hot Hands here, chemical hand warmer. So I've taped that temporarily to this silhouette. I'll go back, hold the point of aim where I had it in the center, and adjust the reticle down to this impact point, and then we'll take another shot to verify, and at that point I'll go for the center of the neck here. We should be able to get to 100 in 2 shots. And you'll see there the results of using that chemical hand warmer to mark my impact spot. I'll go ahead and change my reticle color to something more precise for that. Okay, I'm going to go into the long menu, zeroing. When you do this, there is a small circle that remains static no matter what adjustments you're making. So right now I'm adjusting right and left. It stays static, and that you want to keep over your point of aim that you initially used. And then using your button combinations here, you want to put your crosshair over the point of impact that you just had. I think that's going to be pretty close. Once you have it established, for right now, temporarily, I'm at left, right, 1.54 inches, up, down, minus 10.08 inches. And then I'm going to lock that in by pressing and holding the middle button. It remaps the reticle to where you adjusted it. And now we're going to take a confirmation shot. At the base of the neck. Alright, we'll go down and check that. Alright, here at 50, I held right about here. so it looks like I'm a little high. I can go ahead and make that rough adjustment before going to 100 yards. In theory, you want to be just a tad low probably at 50 yards to be on at 100. So if you're high at 50, you'll probably be real high at 100. So I'll make that adjustment and then we'll zero at 100 yards. I'm going to zero at the base magnification, no digital zoom. 2 shots just generally gives me more confidence when dialing in the final 0 at 100 as opposed to just taking 1 shot. So I've got a very steady hold. There's 1. There's 2. All right, we will put the scope in standby, turn recording off. Okay, we are to the right. I'll go ahead and mark it just for grins and giggles. Okay, so theoretically I'm going to want to go make a final adjustment, leaving that static circular dot on my point of aim and adjusting my reticle over the center of this. Lock those settings in. That was about an inch spread right there, so you know it could be up here on one shot, down here on the next shot, over here 2 or 3 shots. I mean, as long as it's within an inch of the center of where I'm trying to go with it, then that's zeroed and holding 0. Entering the 0 menu, just a shade to the right. So I've made 3 value adjustments to the right. And I can see the reticle has come off of that circular static dot. So I'm going to lock that in at left, right, 3.86 inches. Up, down, minus 6.17 inches. Okay. Okie dokie. So we came adequately over left. I could maybe, in the 3 adjustments I made, take one of those back to try and bring this group over. And then, again, I take 2 shots to, I say, establish the confidence level in what you're doing. So this one right now is tracking to be an anomaly based on these 3 shots. So it looks like my elevation is a little high and I need to come down. So I will go make a 1 correction right and left, a 2 correction down, lock that in, and then I'm